YouTube? I'm back again today for another game review and a special Kickstarter review. And today I'm very excited to check out Village Pillage. This is for 2 to 6 players. I'd say it's for ages about 10 plus. It's going to take about 20 to 30 minutes to play. And in Village Pillage, you're going to try and collect these delicious turnips by farming them and stealing them and gaining them in a variety of different ways by laying down cards and then using those turnips to purchase more cards or to purchase relics. If you can be the first person to get 3 relics, then you're going to win the game. It's a very interesting game where you will have your own little city right here, but you're going to be directly interacting with the cities to your left and the cities to your right, aka your opponents. Will you bribe them? Will you attack them? Will you steal stuff from them? Will you form a truce and be peaceful with them? It's up to you in this game. But does the game work? Let's open it up. I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Village Pillage. So before we get started, I do want to mention this is the promotional copy I have in front of me, so take everything you see here with a grain of salt. Obviously, your rule booklet's probably not going to look like this. So, first and foremost, we got a handy-dandy rule booklet. This one's 5 pages, double-sided. It's got a couple pictures, probably have some illustrations and whatnot. Very well done. Should have you up and running in no time at all. You will need to go back to it from time to time for, like, tiebreaker questions and stuff like that. But overall, very well done rule booklet. Should have you up and running in no time at all. So, in this game, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be trying to be the first person to collect 3 relics and put them on your little relics tracker right here. Also, you can play a 2-player version of the game, which has slightly different rules and a slightly different vault track on the back. We're going to focus more on the higher player count, though, but just know the 2-player version of the game doesn't change too much. But you're going to purchase these relics, which will be these tokens right here, by having beets, or turnips, as I believe they're called. And you're going to have these by stealing them / gaining them from playing these cards. So when you first start the game, you're going to start off with 4 cards. You'll have an army card, you'll have a farmer card, you'll have a trader card, and you'll have a wall card. So essentially, you're going to have your city. And your city's right here. And you're going to be competing against everybody else at the table, but you're going to be directly interacting with the people to your left and the people to your right. So what you're going to do on your turn is you're going to play down 2 cards, 1 to your left, 1 to your right. The people next to you are also going to play down a card, and then you're going to see what happens. So let's just show you exactly how the game works. So, right now, I've got it set up. It could be a 3, 4, 5, 6-player game, whatever. So we're going to set this up, and these are the 4 cards you're going to start with. So how it works is, if I play this card on my right side, I get to steal 4 beats from the player on my right if they play a green card or a yellow card. Because as you can see, the colors and the symbol are in the top left corner of the card. This is your farmer. Always going to gain you 3. Farming's consistent. It's always going to get you those turnips you need. But farmers are going to be very susceptible to being attacked by armies because obviously you think this old lady's going to stop this person? Let's not assume their gender. No, of course not. She's not going to do anything. She's just going to play dead. Next, you have the trader. Likewise, the trader is not going to stop an army, but the trader is going to allow you to buy relics, which are how you win the game. Also, if you're unable to, you can buy a card for 1 turnip. And we haven't really talked about the card row out here yet, but we'll get that in a minute. Last but not least, you're going to have your blue starting card, which is your wall. This is your protector. So you think someone's going to try and rob you of all your valuables? Well, you play this down, and most of the time, you're going to gain 1 beat. Turnip, and then you're also going to bank 1 turnip, which means you'll put 1 from your pile on the left side into your vault. And stuff in your vault cannot be stolen except by some special cards that you can acquire from the center row. But if you are correct and you're attacked by an army, you actually get to steal 1 coin from that army and then bank 1 as well. So those are the 4 cards you'll start with. So let's just go ahead and say I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to go ahead and do that over here, and then we'll pretend like my opponents did this. And I'll give you an actual scenario. So your first thing you're going to do is you're going to set out your cards like so. Then you're going to reveal your cards, and you are going to, by order of operations, figure out what happens. The order of operations, which is really nice, is right down here. So green cards take place first, so I would actually gain 3 turnips first, and they would go on the outside of my vault. They don't go to the inside. That's only when you bank stuff. Next, anybody else play green? No other green out here. So next we go to the blue one. So we have the wall, and I was lucky enough to predict that someone was going to attack me with the army. So I actually would steal 1 turnip from them, put it here, and then I get to bank 1 turnip. So boom, that's another $1 that can't be stolen from me. Next we have the red one. So he tried to steal 4, but he was unsuccessful because, as you can see, he's only able to steal from the green, the farmers, or the trader. Well, those colors, I should say. So he gets absolutely nothing. Ha! Get out of here. You suck. And then last but not least, we go to the trader. And this is your trader. Now, the first option you have is to buy a relic. And this is not an option. If you have enough money to buy your first relic, you have to buy a relic. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I cannot afford a relic because the first relic costs you 8. And you have to go, the first one costs 8, second one costs 9, third one costs 10. Which means I get to buy a card for 1. So looking out there, there's always going to be 4 cards out in the buy row. And I'm looking, all right, do I want to be able to buy relics a little bit better? So this one, buy relic, if unable, gain 1 turnip, take the top card of the deck. So that's going to start giving me a free card. So that is a direct improvement over the trader. The trapper, steal 4 and bank 1, or steal 1 from the army. But the downside of this card is if someone plays a wall, I get nothing. We have the moat, which is a really interesting one. It's going to, if it's in the army, gain 2, steal 3, which is big, bank 2, but if it's a farmer, the opponent gains 1, because obviously they can use that water for farming. And then over here we have the cut purse, who's going to allow you to steal 6, but if you guessed incorrectly, your opponent steals 1. And there is a wide variety of cards in this game. I mean, as you can see, lots and lots of different cards. So your buy row is going to be changing from game to game to game. Once you've done that, everyone is going to collect their cards, and then you're going to rinse, wash, and repeat. The only other main aspect of the game is sometimes you'll have skip cards that will come into play. Let's see if I can find a skip card. Oh yeah, you'll have these cards right here, which will say, veteran skips 1 turn. Well, most of the time it'll skip other people, but skipping a turn just means you put this right by your vault like so, and you cannot use that next turn, because normally you can use the same cards over and over and over and over and over again. Anywho, you're going to continue to go until someone has bought their 3rd relic, at which point they will win the game. 2 people buy the 3rd relic at the same time. Whoever has the most turnips left will win the game. And that, in a nutshell, is how you're going to play Village Pillage. Alrighty then, Village Pillage. Coming to a Kickstarter near you very, very soon. I'll be sure to post that Kickstarter link down below. Before we get started, I want to mention I only got the opportunity to play this up to 5 players. I didn't have the stuff to play it up to 6 players. So I can't give you my opinion on that. That being said, I don't think it would change anything at all, because most of the actions you do are simultaneous in this game, so adding that 6 player is not like going to slow down the game drastically. But let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, biggest con that I have with this game that I don't, but I think a lot of people will, is that this is a lightweight filler game, and if you're not in the market for a lightweight filler game, this one might not be for you. Another comment I have with this game is that I liked it best at 3, 4, 5, 6, well, 3, 4, 5, as opposed to 2. I tried it once at 2, and it was okay. It's not a bad game. I just wouldn't grab it as a 2-player game. Personally, I liked it best when you had more people at the table and more talking and more negotiating and more backstabbing. I felt like that just raised the level of the game. Now, that being said, that is going to be a con for some people, because if you're playing it, in my personal opinion, the right way, there's going to be a lot of table talk, there's going to be a lot of negotiating, be like, you play green, I play green, boom, pound it, but then there's also going to be a lot of lying, because if that person's playing green and you actually believe that person's playing green, you're like, oh, wait, where's that Steel 6 card I had from earlier? Steel 6! And it's like, ah! And some people are not going to like that aspect of the game, even though I personally do, and everyone I played with did, but I know there are those people out there. The last thing I have is that it can be repetitive. I mean, you're going to be doing the same action over and over and over again. Luckily, it's a lightweight filler game, so it doesn't outstay its welcome. But you're not going to have as many choices as you want, because you're going to look at the buy road and be like, that's a cool card, and that's a cool card, and that's a cool card, and all these cards are cool. But in actuality, you start with only 4 cards, and you're probably not going to acquire more than 2 or 3 cards throughout the game. Most of the time, I think if you picked up more than 2 or 3, you're probably just going to lose the game, because you need to be spending those turnips on other things. And also, by going to the trader that often, you're going to be very susceptible to attacks. So what I'm trying to say here is, you're not going to have that many choices. Like, you're playing down 2 cards, and you only have 4 cards, and maybe you'll have 5 cards, or at most, I'd say 6 or 7 cards, but you're still just going to be playing down 2 cards every turn. So that is going to irk some people, the fact that you're not going to be able to get as many of these cool cards as you might want to. That's what I got on the con side. Moving on to the pro side, put quite simply, Village Pillage is a great game. I can recommend this, and I do want a copy of this when it comes out to put in my collection. Like, probably in my classroom, but honestly, I would like it at home as well. This game does a lot of things really, really well. So what do I like about this game? First and foremost, let's get it out of the way. The artwork looks great, blah, blah, blah. I normally don't care about artwork, but I like this artwork. And yeah, you can see the artwork, so we're done talking about it. The simultaneous action means that nearly all the time, everyone is actively involved in this game. I mean, you lay down the cards and you're just sitting there trying to outthink your opponents. Like, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? What's he going to do? How much money does he have? How much money does he have? Okay, how many relics does he have? What cards has he picked up? So you're always somewhat actively involved in the game. Then you resolve it, and you're just seeing like, oh, what happens here? What happens here? What happens here? And I like that aspect of the game. Also, during the buy row, you need to be paying attention to what your neighboring cities are purchasing. Because as I mentioned, if one person to your right has that steel 6, you're like, yeah, I don't think I'm making any truces with that guy, because you have to be very cognizant of some cards in the game. I like that aspect of the game an awful lot as well. It's very easy to learn. It's very easy to teach. It's somewhat of a chameleon game. I could easily, and I did, and I will, play this as a lightweight filler game on a game night, or a end of the night kind of game where it's like, all right, we got 20, 30 minutes to play. What do we want to play? Oh, this? Yeah, let's play that. So it fits that, but I also brought it into my classroom and played it with kids that were 9, 10, and 11 years old, and they really dug it as well. They really liked it. It did not go over the head, so this is both a great family weight game and a great lightweight filler game. It accommodates up to 6 players, and it does it very, very well. And I hope that the Kickstarter does really well, and we get to see even more of these cool cards in the middle that you're not going to purchase that many of, but still, the fact that they're out there, they do change up the game, and if someone gets specific cards, that can temporarily change how you see that person's village and how you're going to face them, and I like that aspect. So in the end, Village Pillage, I think it's a great game. Just all around, well-designed, good artwork, good rule booklet, good player aid card. I like the vault card, how it actually has the order of operations down on the bottom. Little things like that a lot of companies miss, and they did not, because that really does help you figure out the order of operations. I do like the fact that it is 2 players, even though the 2-player version of the game was not for me personally, because I like the negotiation and the backstabbery a little bit. But still, I like the fact that that is an option. So in the end, Village Pillage, definitely one I can recommend you check out if you're in the market for a lightweight filler game or a family game. If you enjoyed the review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, what is your favorite mass chaos game? Just a game that always devolves into chaos. For me personally, I'm going to go with Jungle Speed, because inevitably Jungle Speed always comes down to that point. And in case you never played Jungle Speed, there's like this totem in the middle of the table, and it's just like this really simple matching game. But everybody at one point has to grab the totem, and the totem will go flying. And the house rule we always have is the first person to get that totem gets the totem. And so we'll have just people running and scrambling and elbowing somewhat for that totem. And I brought it in my classroom, and the kids are even worse about it, because as soon as that totem leaves the table, they are all up out of their chairs trying to grab that thing. So yeah, I'm going to go with Jungle Speed. But what's your favorite game that normally devolves into mass chaos? Either physical chaos or just chaos in the game, because I personally love chaos in games. Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.